everyone, my name is Brandon, and this is my first ever video on YouTube. Also, my first ever podcast feed, The Age of the Comeback. Woo! Boom, 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 boom. Now, a quick introduction to The Age of the Comeback. However, before that, I would like to sincerely thank each and every one of you, each and every single one of you, for taking the time out of you guys' busy lives in order to tune in your ears, tune in your eyes, and just be here present with me while I go through this journey of transformation, of emotional intelligence, of leadership, and there's so much more to this. And through the following episodes, you guys will discover who I am as an individual, what I've been through. And I don't know if you guys see it here, but I do have another chair here. So since this is the first episode, this is just an introductory video, i.e. podcast, just introducing myself and what the Age of the Comeback purpose is. Now, let me introduce to you what the Age of the Comeback is. Now, this podcast or this YouTube channel is going to be revolving around the topic of emotional intelligence, leadership, taking risks, gathering tools, gathering keys to life, interviewing real people that relate to both myself and to all of you, the viewers. Just real, authentic, raw emotion is going to be coming out of this podcast. Our podcast and video channel. There's going to be a lot of tears. There's going to be a lot of healing. There's going to be a lot of growth. There's going to be just immense amounts of inner work, as you will, that's going to be happening during this time every Saturday. Okay? Now, I have on my handy dandy notebook here an agenda of what I wanted to cover for this first episode. And just before I even go into that, there's one thing that I missed here is this channel and this podcast is to display the courage and the emotions to take the first step. Take the first step towards your dreams. Take the first steps towards your goals. Just taking the first step. And with that, the courage, all of you, the viewers and the listeners, are going to be able to hear the anxiety that may pop up within me when I stutter or I mess up my sentences with my guests or even on our one-on-ones here. Just to be able to take a step out of the comfort zone, because I'll tell you one thing, this is way out of my comfort zone, man. I'll tell you one thing, man. This is way out of my comfort zone. So, I'm just telling you right now, I am anxious and I am nervous. However, I am facing it, and I'm facing it head on, because this is my way of breaking through. My way of breaking through my insecurities, my way of breaking through my tendencies to hold myself back, and just for me to show other people that the only way out is through. It's through. The only way out is through. Now, speaking on the emotions that come with the courage it takes to take the first step, I would like to tell you a little story about what happened yesterday. And this is how the ego influences us in both. Actually, honestly, in my case, the ego always it always influences me in a negative way. So, right, it always influences me in a negative way. However, I have seen and heard feedback of it influencing people in a positive way. So again, it's to the speaker. The eye, it's the eye of the beholder, right? It's everybody's experience. Now, what happened yesterday was that I got, where did I even start here? So, what ended up happening yesterday was that I was in service volunteering for Live for You's emotional intelligence and leadership workshops for a specific exercise. I can't go into details because it's experiential. So I was volunteering, and it was an exercise that legitimately was supposed to kill my ego. And it did. It did. What came out of that was that I was so much more in love with my future wife, Cynthia. I was so much more in love with my daughter, Sienna. I love my family so much more. My mom, my dad, my brothers. I loved exponentially more because there wasn't a story tied to anything that the ego made up. So I'm coming home, from this fantastic, beautiful experience, and I'm coming home, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see Cynthia and just love on her and hug her and kiss her and just tell her how much I love her and just adore her with just unsurmountable amounts of affection, right? I love that woman, seriously. And what ended up happening, and this is how the ego works, and this is how the ego hijacks anything that means anything to you, because it is a filter of who you authentically are, the ego, and then reality. So the ego is the filter. And what ended up happening was that I came home, and instead of doing what I just said, going to love up on my lady and just, spend time with my daughter, just show like overflowing love within this house, I came home and I saw a ton of mess on the floor, a lot of food stains. Just, to me, it was a disaster in my experience. And what happened was that instead of me being the loving, kind, ego dead person that I left the exercise that I was volunteering for a group of people, I came home and I saw that, and I snapped. I snapped because I spent a lot of time cleaning this floor, like back-breaking work with the steam cleaner, just steaming the grout, and anybody that knows like cleaning grout, that is really, really freaking hard, man. It's back-breaking work. So what ended up happening was that I snapped. I snapped, and that joyous, loving moment I flushed down the drain because of one thing, and that was just a mess on the floor that I easily cleaned up with the broom and dustpan. Easily. Easily. However, the ego makes such a big story inside the head that, oh, these people don't freaking care about me. They don't have no empathy. They don't know how hard I freaking worked to clean this floor. They don't understand. What the hell am I doing here? Why am I even in this situation? I was pissed. I was pissed. You know, we slept on it. We slept on it after I just kept going on about clean up. Like I worked hard. You know, it was a bad moment. These things happen. Ego takes over. Excuse my language, but it fucking sucks, man. Seriously, saying a lot of shit that you end up regretting later. Yeah, things that can damage a relationship exponentially. We slept on it, me and Cynthia, and today, we spoke about it, and what came up for me was that I was so scared of doing this podcast and video. My ego did not want me to do this right here. Totally out of my comfort zone. And it looked for the first thing it can attach to revive itself after it died during that exercise last night. Wild. I tell you this story because I want to convey the message, and I don't want to. I am going to convey the message that I'm going to convey the message that I did not want to do this. However, I know that this is outside of my comfort zone, and it was a moment for me to reflect of, wow, I cannot believe the ego tried to destroy me in that moment in order for me to have some kind of release before doing this. Now let's fast forward to today, because another opportunity came. So my lady, Cynthia, she was out for a bit longer than usual at the gym. Okay? And what ended up happening inside of my head is that she knows that I'm prepared to do this. I've declared that I'm going to do this podcast and video for the past 3 weeks. We've been getting this thing ready for the past 3 weeks. There's no way I can be late for this. No freaking way. Okay? So another opportunity that happened was that she came in a little bit late, right? And primarily the opportunity came up where I could have blown up on her again and said, oh, you don't give a fuck about me. You don't care about me. You don't care about my dreams. You don't care about me trying to grow. You don't give a fuck. And I was going off the handle. I was going to go off the handle. Let me correct myself. I was going to go off the handle. However, I took yesterday as a learning experience, and I knew what the ego was trying to do to me today. Let go of a micro explosion before doing this podcast, because my ego doesn't want me to do this podcast and this video. You understand? So instead of going off the handle, being insecure, being angry, being possessive, being just a being an inauthentic person, because that's not who I am. I just said, hey, what happened? You're supposed to be here at this time. This is what's going on through my head. This is a story that popped up. And I'm grateful that my lady Cynthia, she has emotional intelligence as well, to where she understands. And I wasn't accusing her of anything. She waved it off like nothing happened. She gave me the space to cool down, and we're fine now. However, that entire situation could have imploded yet again from yesterday. And then that's another instance where the ego will tell you that you can't do something, or let go of some steam, or do something, relapse on past addictions. Do anything you can to make the experience of going through a breakthrough easier. However, again, the only way out is through. Powerful. The only way out is through. And I tell you these two stories just to show the anger, the anxiety, the nervousness, the frustration, the insecurities, there's so many more limiting beliefs that popped up that the ego will bring in order to filter out the experience. However, I'm here, I'm present, I'm here with you now, and we're gonna do this, man. We're gonna do this. I'm proud of everybody watching this. Thank you for hearing me out. And I'm proud of myself for doing this. This is a sincere breakthrough for me. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in your ears and tuning in your eyes if you're watching the video. Thank you. Thank you sincerely once again for being here with me in this journey of transformation, emotional intelligence, leadership, taking risks, tools, and just learning to not be a perfectionist and having the courage to take the first step towards your dreams. And my dream, to my viewers, is to make an impact in at least one person's life in order for them to be able to take the first step. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And it is the age of the comeback. I'll see you next time.